Meanwhile, across the causeway, Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin today secured his first win since being sworn in on March 1st. His government successfully replaced the Speaker of Parliament by a vote of 111 to 109 after a heated debate.
It shows that Mr. Muhyiddin has the numbers in Parliament to govern, but only just. Joining us now is Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teoh in Kuala Lumpur. So, Shannon, months of uncertainty and debate over Mr. Muhyiddin's parliamentary majority finally ended today. Did the outcome of the voting surprise you in any way?
Well, not really. I think having postponed a parliamentary vote twice now, the fact that Muhyiddin was happy to go to parliament to get a vote done kind of indicated that he was confident of winning, even if it was by a very slim majority. So no real surprise at the result, but it does tell us what we know, what we believe, that his majority is very slim.
Now, even though Mr. Muhyiddin has successfully ousted the Speaker and a proven majority in Parliament, it was a razor-thin win of only 2 votes. It does not prove a strong and clear mandate for his Parliament. What does this mean moving forward for him?
Well, I think having started this parliamentary session, we've got to see it through, and it's going to last 25 days in total. It'll take us all the way up to the end of August, and there are several other motions, other bills, such as a stimulus package and things like that. They've got to approve that. But it actually lays bare how difficult it's going to be. Today it was 111 to 109 because one minister was absent because of ill health. And you can see how in the future, what if 3 ministers or 3 MPs from the government were ill? What if someone was incapacitated for any particular reason? They risk losing a vote in that kind of situation. So it's not really tenable to move forward that way. You can imagine a lot of cabinet ministers will be camped around Parliament throughout the entire session, right? Instead of doing their administrative duties, which has always been the way in the past. Cabinet ministers would have some leeway to rotate, in a sense. They would be able to go to their offices to get some work, go down to the ground across Malaysia to get work done while Parliament was sitting. They don't have that luxury now. So it's going to be very difficult to function at optimum level for this government. So we are going to see how, this just really pushes the need for a firmer mandate for Muhyiddin or any Prime Minister.
Right. Would we still see a snap election happening then? If so, Shannon, when do you think it would most likely be?
Of course, if Muhyiddin had lost the vote today, then likely he would have had to go to the King to dissolve Parliament. But now it looks like he does have a majority and it's up to him. But as we just discussed, it's going to be very difficult to govern moving into the future. There's a budget that has to be tabled in November as well. Now, the question is whether he wants to go and look for a fresh mandate before the budget or after the budget. That's kind of the timeline people are talking about, whether we do it at the end of this year or early next year. Now, his partners in government, UMNO and PAS, they're wanting to go to the polls as soon as possible. And they've signaled very clearly to Muhyiddin, we support you for now. Right now, because it seems that he is quite popular, Malaysians seem to indicate that they approve the government's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. So he's kind of in the clear for now, which is what UMNO is saying. But as time passes, this could change. And I think for Muhyiddin, he has to strike while the iron is hot. For him, he's quite popular now. The opposition is not really gotten his act together. And, the economy hasn't really tanked yet. He might want to try and improve the economy, but there's always a risk. The longer you wait, things can happen, and then you wonder whether you will have enough left in the tank for new stimulus packages and things like that. So most observers are looking at final quarter or of this year or first quarter of next year, and government sources also tell me that's really what Muhyiddin has been indicating to his party as well.
Right. Now, Shannon, on the note of opposition, with Mr. Muhyiddin's win today, how does former PM Mahathir Mohamad or even Anwar Ibrahim, who was previously poised to take over, fit in the picture now? And who would most likely be fielded as the opposition's candidate for the premiership position?
Well, the dispute between the two key opposition leaders have continued all the way up to now. They are both insisting that they should be made prime minister if they regain power. Of course, Mahathir has in past few weeks said that, well, okay, as a compromise, I don't mind Shafi'i Abdal. That's the Sabah chief minister, as someone who could possibly take up the mantle. The concern on Mahathir's camp is that Anwar doesn't really have the support amongst the Malay majority. And that's going to be crucial if you want to win, whether it's at an election or even to govern with a firm mandate in terms of the number of MPs you have. Anwar, of course, feels differently. He feels that I'm leading Pakatan Harapan. I have 91 MPs. Mahathir's camp is only 17 or 18 MPs. Why should I give in to him? So this is going to be an ongoing and involving situation, I think, as we get to the elections. There is a risk that the opposition might, have overlapping claims on seats. They might not have an electoral pact as they go into election, and that will play into Muhyiddin's favor. Right now, the last update that we have from them is that just before Parliament came to session, the two different sides kind of backed away from an open dispute and say, well, let's just go into Parliament, make sure that we have a solid bloc to try and frustrate Muhyiddin's efforts to change the speaker to win any votes. On the issue of the prime ministership, well, they've kicked that can down the road, but I'm not sure if they can eventually resolve.
Right. Well, plenty of food for thought from our Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teoh. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.